Welcome back to the 7th video of this series. So in this particular video, we are going to learn about annualizing returns. So before we understand what exactly is the topic, we need to know why was the need for such a concept. So in the real world, there was this problem. So basically, when you see returns or say interest rate. So in the real world, there are say like multiple products, A, B, C, D, and the list goes on. So these products A, B, C, D, they could be giving you returns, right? But these returns are given at different period. So these returns are given at different periods. What do I mean by that is, this return for the investment A or the product A could be say on a weekly basis. So the investment A return is provided to you on per week basis. Or this investment B could be like on every 4 weeks basis. This C could be say 129 days return could have been provided to you. For this D product, it could be like say 3 months return is provided to you. So when all of these products or investment are given to you and their returns are also given to you, but the period varies, then it will be hard for you to compare the returns. So you'll find it hard to compare the returns of these products. So because of this problem, we came out with something called annualizing returns, as the topic says. So basically, for whatever period the return is given to you, we are going to annualize it. So once we annualize it, that means that product A or investment B, investment C, investment D, their returns will be on per annum basis or per year basis. So basically what we are trying to do is we are converting the returns for whatever period into annual returns. I hope the point is very clear. So this very conversion is annualizing returns. So we are basically all the returns, we are annualizing it. Okay. So what is the formula for annualizing returns for a different period? You cannot do like say, if I tell you that return per month, say return or the interest rate which you are getting per month is say like 2% per month. You cannot do like, so this is per month your assumption, not assumption which is given. So you can assume that, okay, per month I'm getting 2%. So for a year, 1 year, how many months are there? 12 into 2, 24% per annum, you might say. But this is a wrong way to calculate it. I'm just telling you so that you do not fall for such a trap, because this particular formula is wrong because there is a concept of compounding. So you have to take care of compounding. All right. Hope it makes sense. So what is the formula? So let me write the formula. So you want to annualize the return. So this is the result which you'll be getting. The formula is 1 plus R period. I'll explain it to you. C minus 1. So basically this R period is that interest rate for a given period. So if the interest rate given to you is on 4 weeks basis, you just have to write that interest rate here. Or if it is say on 3 months basis, you just write that interest rate here. Okay. Hope it makes the sense. So this interest rate is for any given period, which is given to you, and later you are transforming it into annual return. This C is very important. So it basically means, let me tell you in a layman's language, C basically means how much compounding is happening in a year. So C basically means frequency of compounding. Okay? Frequency of compounding. Frequency of compounding in a year. So this particular line is also very important. So how many times we are compounding in a year? Okay? So let's understand it through some examples examples in the sense, not like question example, but simple examples. So if the return R1 is say 2% per week. Okay. So how am I going to change it? For example, and just let me write A 1 plus this R period, right? This R period. Let me first write the formula so that R period C minus 1. So 1 plus R period is what? In this case, it is basically R week, right? The period is for a week. So 2% is basically 0.02. So I'll just write 0.02. Hope it's clear till now. C, what would be C? So C would be how much compounding is happening in a year, right? So in a year, there are 365 days. Okay. And there are 365 days in a year divided by, in a week, how many days are there? 7. So this is also in days in a year. This is in a week, how many days? So if you do the calculation, it will come somewhere around 52.14. So I can just write over here. Let me just, 7 days minus 1. So it's right 1.02, 52 minus 1. So whatever you calculate, you can do the calculation. I'll do the actual calculation as well when we are solving our example question, but you get the concept. That is what. Let me erase this off. So this was for return was for a week. But what if I say that now the return is given to you in the form of say per month basis. So now this is like 2% per month. Same. So R 1 plus R period. So this time the period is month, right? So 1 plus 0.02 for a month. C would be what? So C is how much compounding is happening in a year. Let me convert into 365 days or 365 days. So this is in days. And in a month, how many days are there? Let's assume it's 30 days. Okay. Could be 31 or 30. So if you do the calculation, it is going to be 365 divided by 30. It's coming out to be 12.16. So C would be 12.16. Or you can calculate in some other way as well. Let's see. C in a year, how many months are there? 12 months are there, right? This is per month. So 1 month. So basically when you are calculating C, your numerator and denominator should be same. Hope it is clear. Now let me confuse you a bit. So instead of writing it is per month, if I say this 2% return is for in say 2 months. So basically this return 2% is in 2 months. Then in that case, what will happen? So the formula stays the same. Okay. 1 plus this period is for 2 months. So anyways, this 0.02 is for 2 months up till it is same. Now the only difference will be C. So I'm explaining all this so that there is no confusion. Okay. So C is how much compounding is happening in a year. So 365 days in a year, and basically divide by how much. So in 2 months, how many days are there? 30 days? No, it is 60 days. So if I do the calculation, 365, I'm calculating using my physical financial calculator, divide by 60. So it's coming out 6. So 6.08. So I can just write 6 here. This C again can be calculated in different way. That is, in a year, how many months are there? 12 months are there. Divided by how many months is given? 2 months. So if you do the maths, 6, which is the same as this one. So the only thing you need to take care of is when you're calculating C, and it's always going to be in a year, right? So you have to take the year in numerator, whether it is, if you are writing the number of, if you are writing the year in number of days, you write 365. If you are writing it in terms of month, how many months are there in a year? 12 months. If you are writing in terms of week, how many weeks will be there in a year? So C will be 52 weeks will be there. How am I calculating this? Basically 365 divided by how many days in a week? 7. So if you do the maths, 365 divided by 7, it is coming out to be 52, right? So there are 52 weeks in a year. So C would be either 365 days, or it could be either 12 months, or C could be, the numerator in the C, or it could be 52 weeks. Okay, you get the point. So in the numerator, you write the year in any form you want. And the second thing that you need to take care of is numerator and denominator's unit must be same. So if I'm writing in days, it should be days. If it is in month, it should be month. So that's how your C value is going to come. Okay, so I hope till this point everything is clear. So let's jump into our example question so that there is a better clarity of what I have taught you. So remember this formula. And let's jump into our first question. So here, analyst. So in this case, you are the analyst. You want to compare the performance of 3 investments held for different period of time. Okay. So you want to compare this investment A, B, and C. And as you can see, the investment A is getting a return of 7%, but it is for the 7% return is you are getting it in 120 days. Okay. Investment B in 6 weeks, it is giving 3% return. Investment C is getting 4% return in 2 months. Okay. So how do I calculate it? We just need to annualize it, as I have told you before. So for A, let's do for A. Annualize. This is 1 plus R period. Period is for 120 days. Let me just write. Or you can just write period. No issue. Then C minus 1. Okay. So 1 plus this 7% is for 120 days. So the period is for 120 days. You can write it as 0.07, right? 0.07. Now C. C calculation is, I told you, right? For annualized, C would be, it is given in days. So I have to write the year in number of days. So there are 365 days divided by How many days are there given to you? 120 days. Let me bring out my financial calculator. So my financial calculator is out. So I just have to type in 365 divided by 120. So my C is coming out to be 3.04. So I just write 3.04 minus 1. So it would be 1.07, 3.04 minus 1. So let me do the calculation. 1.07 to the power, right? So you have to tap y to the power x. I have tapped. Then you write 3.04 equals 1.2284, right? Minus 1. So it is out to be 0.2284, which I can write it as 22.84%. So on investment A, you are getting a good return of 22% per annum. Okay. Now let's do for the investment B. Investment B. So R as full return is same 1 R period, right? C minus 1. So it is this 3% you can write it as 0.03, right? 0.03. C would be what? So it is given in weeks. So in a year, how many weeks are there? 52 weeks. Okay. So I'll just show you 365 number of days. In a week, how many number of days are there? 7. So there are 52 weeks. So I can just write C is equals to, here I'll write, but it is in weeks, 52 weeks. Divide by, so it is saying 6 weeks. So I just write 6 weeks, divide by 6 weeks. So 52 divided by 6 is 8.6667. So this many times compounding will happen in a year for this particular return. So I'll just write 8.67 minus 1. So 1.03, 8.67 minus 1. 1.03 to the power 8.67. So it is coming out to this. I have to deduct 0.2921, which is equal to 29.21%. So investment B is giving a return of 29.21%, which is better than investment A. Alright. Let's do the last calculation. C. C was 4% 2 months. Alright. So just let me write 1 plus R period C minus 1. So 1 plus 4%, I can write it as 0.04 C. Now, since the return is for 2 months, right, C would be what? I have to write in terms of months. So there are 12 months in a year. And we are given 2 months. So 6 times the compounding will happen. So 6 minus 1. So 1.04 to the power 6 minus 1. It will be 1.04 to the power 6 is this much, minus 1 is coming this much. 0.2653, which will be 26.53% per annum. Okay. So all the investment we have calculated in terms of annual return. And as you can see, the investment B has got the highest return there is. And you can notice something over here, that earlier by just looking at this 3 investment given with different time period, we might have thought, okay, 7% looks nice, 4% looks nice, but this investment B just giving 3%, which is the lowest if you just look at the figures. But when we calculated the interest for the investment B, or the return was the highest. How it happened? It happened all because of compounding. So this 3%, the returns you are getting it in 6 weeks. So basically in 6 weeks, there are 42 days. There are like 42 days. In 2 months, you have 60 days. So basically, investment B has got the highest because the compounding or the charging of interest or the return which you are getting is you are getting on every 42 days. Alright, wherein in this case you're getting it on 120 days, and in this case investment C you're getting it on 60 days. So even though this number percentage might have seemed low, but because of compounding you're getting the highest interest rate. So hope you have understood the concept of annualizing all the returns given to you for different periods. So if you have liked the video, please do let me know, and any area of improvement needed from my side, please do let me know that as well. So for now, goodbye. See you guys in the next video.